Well, ladies and gentlemen, friends of top class, we're very happy to introduce Andrea, Pablo, and Sebas. Hello, guys. How are you today?
Fine, teacher. Thanks. And you?
This is great. Thank you very much, Andrea. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, teacher. How are you?
Fine, thanks. I'm very excited about the topic that we're going to develop today. We have three cases, actually, it's four cases with mine if we have time, in which we want to talk about the law and crime. The law and crime is a very controversial topic. It's an interesting subject. And we're going to begin with Andrea's case. Andrea, can you please tell us your story? And then we're going to have Pablo, Sebas, and myself to ask you a couple of questions, please, and we do the same for the others. Okay, Andrea, please.
Yes, teacher. My situation is that entering into a house without the consent of the owners. A luxury house is on fire. Many people enter the house to steal. In the end, they will be guilty. But on the top floor are two kids. They're inside. They're the only ones. Their parents are not there, and the police say that they will arrest all those who remain inside the house. But it's necessary to help and put the kids safety, even if it's private property. It is something I will do because I think that health and integrity comes first, and maybe I could go to prison.
Wow. What do you guys think? Pablo, Sebas.
Well, I think that, of course, I agree with your opinion because it's something that it's like we were talking about. That it's a very controversial topic, and it's a very small line between the law that, of course, we are not. The laws are not perfect, but I think that in these kind of cases, it has to be modified because we know that there are too many cases like this and that it's very common and because the law doesn't want to see the differences between try to do the correct and maybe the
Wrong.
maybe the wrong ideas that maybe you could have. I know that it's a very small line, but it's something that we have to take care because it could pass to any of us. We have to know what is going to be the consequences of our acts.
Excellent. Great comment, Pablo. Thank you very much. Sebas, what do you think about Andrea's story?
Well, I think it's a very interesting story. I think it's sad history. I think we need to praise more what is correctly because this thing we don't think we need to well, I have a question. What do you think you will go do in this situation?
Uh, Sebas, can you be more near that the microphone, please?
Okay. What do you think you are going to do in these cases or this type of situations?
What are doing?
No, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? Yeah, Sebas is asking that if you were in this situation, what would you do?
Maybe I go to the kids, and at the first I try to put them safety, and well, after that maybe if the police needs responsible people, I'll go to them and say that I'm innocent, but my only um, crime was enter to in a house without the consent. But maybe it could be take a lot of time, many time, but it's a risk that I accept. I don't know what happened. I don't know what do you think about it. I'll ask you the same. What are you? What would you do in this situation?
Good, Sebas.
I totally agree with Andrea. I think I will first of all I go with the kids because life is in game, you know. We need to save it first. First of all, yeah. I think it's better after all the danger to can save that life. It's the best option.
Questions, Pablo?
Well, I had the same themselves, and I was listening to Andrea's opinion, and I totally agree with that. That it's very controversial, and it's something that we have to take care of.
Thank you very much, guys. Andrea, thank you very much for your story. Excellent story, great example. And I like your comment very much. Now we're going to go to the second story, which is actually the story that I wrote about the Rosenbergs. The Rosenbergs were a couple in the US in the mid 30s, no, mid 60s, I think, who passed atomic secrets to the Russians. I believe they were not paid for that, but they were executed in the electric chair for passing secret document to the Russians, and that led to the development of the atomic bomb. The Russians developed the atomic bomb thanks to the technical secrets that the Rosenbergs passed them. But at the time, the Russians and the US were allies. They were not enemies, they were not adversaries, they were friends because they were fighting the same cause, in quotation marks. In quotation marks. In quotation marks, yes. Quotation marks, says Sebas correctly, actually. But this was the first case of an execution of a citizen for passing secrets to a friend, which was not in the law. In the law, it was established that if you pass a secret to an enemy, then you are charged for treason, and charging you for treason leads to the electrocution in the electric chair. What do you think about these guys? First, Pablo, what do you think?
Well, I think that it's other line because we are talking about the government and the secrets. And of course, as we know that since too many years, the government has to they have tried to try to try to do some actions to for the population that they don't know the secrets or something like that. And I think that more in these years that the technology was developing very fast. For example, well, in these cases, I think that it's something very dangerous that you have to consider if you are going to work this kind of secret. I'm not justifying the actions of the Russians and the US, but I think that it's very dangerous try to be clean in this kind of cases because we know of too many. Well, we have heard rumors about too many people that have that they have worked for them, and their fate was very tragic. But of course, because it's the government or a whole country, it's gonna be very dangerous try to fight against alone without any proofs.
Exactly, thank you very much. Sebas, what do you think about the case
Well,
of
I
the
think
story?
it was a very dangerous plan. If you know that it was a very big secret of the government, and you know who is gonna react to government, I think it was very dangerous and oh, a bad thing to do, I think. And obviously, he know what was going to happen.
The consequence.
He know what are the consequences. well, now Russia and United States are friends, or we think that because well, they have a lot of
Common interests.
common interest. Yeah, in the past, the Cold War, like Cold War, it's
Cold War,
Cold War, speed speed career or something like that. It was very interesting how the United States and Russia always have a competition. It's incredible.
Thank you very much, Sebas. Great comments. Pablo, great comments. Sebas, good comments, excellent comments. Andrea, what do you think? What's your opinion about this case of the Rosenbergs?
Well, teacher, for example, with my friends, it's totally normal to me express my lifestyle, my feelings, my thoughts, and in a particular situation like work, I think that there are working conditions where the information is top secret, and well, because I think that we can put our integrity at risk, and the person with whom I share this information can be in on risk, and for example, our families, my family, my integrity, and why not the stability for the company that we work. I think that in work is a different context. We have to respect the conditions and maintain the secrets.
Yeah. That's why this case was actually so controversial because this was a time of peace, not during time of war. And this didn't happen between two adversaries. This happened between two allies. The US and Russia at that time, or the Soviet Union, were allies. Sebas made a very interesting gesture. He says, in quotation marks. Yes, that made a world of difference because these allies, well, they were not together.
Always United States and Russia have a tension, a lot of tension in all aspects, um, armament aspects, industry aspects, industrial aspects, economy aspects. Well, a lot of tension then, and we know that in all I don't know, our moments can decide have a war in between United States and Russia.
Absolutely true. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Yeah, it's something that we need to take care about it.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah, well, this led, at the end, this led to the execution of this couple, husband and wife, the Rosenbergs. It was in the newspapers, it was in the press, it was in the media for a number of months. And then, well, you know what happened, right? But my personal opinion, of course, is that the Americans did exactly the same. They took military secrets from the Germans, and actually that led to the development of the atomic bomb. But this happened during war. So if it's during war, it is okay. If it is at peacetime, it is not okay. That's a double standard that I personally don't like very much. But well, that is controversial, and let's continue. The next situation is the one that Sebas is going to explain. Sebas, can you please let us know about your case?
Well, the next one is a case of kidnapping and murder case. It was very known here in Mexico, and now it's very known now nowadays. And it is of the 43, is a pair of 43 students of Ayotzinapa. You know that it was a very controversial topic in what some years ago. I don't remember, I don't exactly what year starts this topic. Well, a lot of persons start to say it was some the government, the same government do this. Another, and the government say it is um, narcotraffic people,
Drug dealers.
drug dealers, yeah.
Drug dealers. Yes.
Well, personally, I think it's the government because it's impossible that a lot of years later the government didn't know what happened exactly. They only found like a three or four bodies of the 43. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. What like 7 years after the disappearance of the 43 students from the Ayotzinapa Normal School, they were about of the police for 14 of these students remains one of the greatest mysteries of contemporary Mexico until today. Yeah, it's totally true. Now, no one know what happened exactly that day. Um, it has not been possible to overthrow the historical truth that President Enrique Peña Nieto states that the 43 students were kidnapped by drug trafficking groups. It's currently in garbage run. Well, it's one of the most popular
Cases.
case. No, no, no. The
No,
most
there's.
popular theory on what happened with the students. The clarification of the events that led to the disappearance of the 43 normalists from Ayotzinapa was assumed as committed by President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. But 3 years in this administration, there are still no signs that the truth of what is considered one of the most serious human rights attacks committed by the Mexican government. Well,
Okay.
we know that, well, a lot of people say it was the government because well, it's impossible. With that 3 years, well, the president and López Obrador said they going to investigate that case after a lot of years. And 3 years after that promise, it's impossible to don't have any advance of this case. Well, I think it's a very sad case and very. I think a lot of people get angry with to listen these type of cases happened in our days. It's very sad.
Great story, Sebas. Thank you very much. Fantastic story. The case of the disappearance of the 43 students in Ayotzinapa. Andrea, what do you think? What's your opinion?
I don't have a lot of information that this topic, teacher, but I know that I involve militaries and the police, and I suppose that is the people that we can uh, um, how do you say solicitar ayuda, teacher?
Request help.
Request
Request help.
request help and feel secure, and I don't like I'm sad when I think in these bad administrations, the other presidents, the security in this in Mexico, and what teacher, the families of the students, obviously the students is a really sad situation, and well, mm, mm, they were students, teacher, not trafficators.
Traffic dealers.
Yes, teacher.
Well, drug dealers. Drug dealers. Okay, interesting, Andrea. Very good comment. Thank you very much. Pablo, what's your opinion about the Ayotzinapa case? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I think that it's something that hurt us a lot because, as Andrea said, they are well. It's very it's very controversial how a government that tried to give us security uh, gave us fear with these kind of actions that it hurts a lot because like I told you, it's something that mm, it's something that we don't understand how do you have too many proofs and how we don't have anything at the same time. Because right now I feel that we are in the same line as 8 years ago because it happened in 2014, right? So I think that of course that it hurt us, but it, I don't know because I think that any phrase that I say it's gonna be controversial because it's something that we don't understand a lot, but we have to know what happened and why that happened, right? It's something amazing that students, not criminals, not leaders, not murderers, not something. They were students. Happened to them. It's something that hurts a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sebas, excellent case. Andrea, thank you very much. Pablo, for your comments. Let's present the last situation, the last case, which is very interesting as well. And that's going to be explained by Pablo about the Glasgow train robbery. Pablo, please.
Well, the Glasgow train robbery is very well, not simple, but for the age that happened, it's very interesting. How a group of 15 person cover a train with jewelry and all that kind of things that rich people have. Something that is more interesting, and then I try to do in the young world, is that the action that is that's happening with the law in that kind of cases. Something is the when the value of what is stolen does not exceed 100 times the salary of up to 2 years in prison and a fine of 200 times the salary will be imposed. The laws are very clear in these cases. I think that it's not proportional the time that you are going to that you are going to be in prison, depending on what do you stole. I think that it has to be very strict in these cases because we know that it's not common that something like this happening these days. That you steal, I don't know, 100 million of pesos. Right now, it's very amazing. Yeah, it's not common. And these kind of laws are designing of these cases. But in small amounts, let's see, the common things that happen in our days are not punished like the way that it has to be. So I think that in the controversial topic here in these kind of cases is that you don't have the proportional time in prison for the psychological damage that you did, the impression that you make, something like that. Factors that we know that are very important are not touched.
Excellent comment. Thank you very much, Paulo. Fantastic case, great case, and good comments as well. Andrea, what do you think? Briefly, we have a minute for your comment. Sebas, we have a minute for your comment too, please. Andrea, what do you think?
Um, about the train robbery?
Yes, please.
Well, teacher, I think that money is an expression for work, and I think that is not bad paying a big amount of money when you do something illegal, but well, it's not totally fine because the damage is not remunerado.
Rewarded.
Yes, teacher rewarded, and well, teacher, but is a way. maybe in the future we can find other ways to pay for a illegal situation.
Very good, Andrea. Thank you very much. I like your comment very much. Sebas, finally, what do you think about the Glasgow train robbery?
Well, it was very interesting, very impressive. I think it's incredible what the people can do it for the money. It's incredible what the people can do now in our days. You can see all the uh, church people,
The thieves.
the thieves, what they can do for to have the money to have the other people things. Well, it's incredible. I think it's very interesting and very interesting topic.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, guys, I want to thank you for your time, for your comments. Really interesting. The law and crime, the consequences, and the exceptions to the law. So, thanks very much. Great comments, Andrea, Pablo, Sebas. See you around. Take care and thank you very much.
Teacher.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Take care.
Goodbye.